Tonight I saw some disturbing footage on Facebook posted by Emma Lee, who was a journalist for Mint Press News, and she also does freelance journalism. And it's of these shootings by armed militia types in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And apparently one person has died, and I can guess which one that was. And it shows about two different views of the same shooting, and then one at the gas station prior to the shooting, and then one at the gas station where someone is shot in the head. And but it's quite why I'm bringing this up, because normally I don't show things like this on my channel. I think I've shown some graphic footage from of Palestinians because I think that's important to do. But this one, I sort of feel like this is very interesting because the person involved, this person in the green shirt, he seems like a young white male, probably around 18 to 20 years old. And he's seen at the gas station with a bunch of what looked to be like armed militia wearing Bearcats shirt. And they're sort of having a bit of a laugh. And then this guy with the green shirt goes over to the police who are in these armored vehicles and asks for water. And the police throw him the water, and I heard one of the policemen say on his on this sort of loudspeaker, said, "We really appreciate." I think he said something like, "We really appreciate you guys being here," which is really, I mean, when you see these guys at this service station and they're all holding these, well, the guy who had the green shirt looks like he has, I don't know, it looks like a semi-automatic weapon and some kind of a rifle. I'm not really familiar with weapons, but it's very disturbing because they're just all hanging out the station, open carrying, and the police can see them, and they're totally fine with it, give them water, and then I'm pretty sure that one of the police says to him, we really appreciate you being out here tonight. And I think what he's talking about is that these militia think that they're protecting their neighborhood and protecting businesses. Well, that's their excuse anyway. Really, what they're doing is looking for trouble so they can shoot somebody. And they found it because there was a few people shot, and you can see that. And I'll give you a warning before I play this. It's really quite amazing because the guy in the green shirt, you can see him at the station, and you could hear these shots. And you can hear the man who's filming it saying, oh, you know, he shot him, he's just laid him out kind of thing. Well, that's the man that he shot in the head. And then you see the man with the green T-shirt on his phone, and Emma Lee thinks that he might have been saying, I think I might have killed someone, or I think I killed someone. And he's on the phone. I mean, he doesn't have any mask on, he doesn't really, and he's got this little backpack on, which has got a really definitive, a sort of a something that you could really easily pick him up with. You know, it's sort of like an orange kind of a symbol on the back of his backpack. So when everybody comes to the aid of this man who's been shot in the head, and I think that's the man who died, you know, it was pretty serious. Like you could see, it was very serious, and I immediately thought, no, he's probably gone. You don't get a real close-up of him, but you can just tell. Anyway, so then he goes off. You can see the man in the green shirt then running away from the scene with his gun. And then later, then you see him running down the road. I don't know what time frame this was, but you see him running down the road past somebody else who's filming, another person who's filming, and he's just running down. He doesn't look particularly fearful, but then you see, and this is, I think after the first shooting, then you see these people running after him. They don't seem particularly violent, but you can I think they're running after him because he's got a gun, a rifle. He's got a rifle and he's running down the road. So you see him running down, and then this black guy comes running over to him and literally kind of seems to jump on him and then off him and then runs away back toward the camera. I think he was trying to get his gun off him or disable him or something. And some other guy also comes. There was about 3 or 4 people sort of running up to him to try and then this other guy seems to have a skateboard, and he pulls the skateboard away. Meanwhile, this guy with the gun, with the rifle, is sort of shooting this both people that came up to, I think, to disarm him. I'm not sure. I think that's probably what was going on. So one is laying on the road, and then the other fellow, I think he shot him in the arm, and it's a really bad arm wound. I think looked like it went straight through, but it was really profuse bleeding. So that's going to be bad for him. But you can literally see, I knew when he fired that shot and there was this spray going up, but you could tell that, when he grabbed his arm, you could tell it was going to be messy. And, I mean, it's insane. This is like insane. This is like the Wild West. I don't know what I'm talking about the movies now, the sort of movies, where people were just shooting people up and stuff. It's just the Wild West, really. And then he gets up and he starts, there seems to be shots coming from elsewhere too. So I don't know if his friends that were at the petrol station, at the gas station, were shooting people too, but it sounded like it. So there was about 16 shots there, and when the fellow that was shot in the head, there was about 8 shots there. So I don't know if it was all coming from his gun. Anyway, so but the thing that was really disturbing about it was, it looked like he thought he was in some sort of either some sort of role-playing game, or he didn't seem to be fazed at all. It was like he felt very comfortable running with this gun. And then he got down on his one knee, and he was shooting people, like shooting from down on his knee, and he looked very relaxed and very comfortable with the whole thing. Like it's almost, I don't know if he was detached from reality. He looks like he's too young to have served in Iraq or whatever, but he just sort of, when you see this video, you'll see what I mean when he's down on his knee, firing at people. Like he just looks like he doesn't particularly look fazed at all. It's like it's not registering with him what he's doing, but he's probably totally registering. He's probably dreamed of something like this for a long time. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know anything about him, but I think he might have been shot by the police. I noticed that the police was literally about a minute, or probably about half a minute after, or even less than after this happened, that the police in these vehicles with sirens were very close to that, and one policeman with a rifle was running towards the scene. I don't know. I think that the guy with the green shirt possibly was shot. I don't know if he was killed. If he'd been a black guy, he probably most definitely would have been shot and killed. But anyway, it was really surreal to watch, and it was a little bit like a war scene, like the sort of thing you see except it was it was real. It was like, it's lucky that so many people have phones now, because, and the guy that did the clearest filming, he was panting away. I think he was really freaked out, as you would be. I think I would have been yelling some expletives and probably, I don't know, getting further away. But it seemed like there was some people there that, I don't know if they realized how serious the situation was. They seemed to be not protecting themselves. And there was at one point, the guy in the green shirt was pointing towards this man who had his arms up in the air, and I was sure he was going to get shot, and he was walking backwards, but the guy in the green shirt didn't shoot him. And then he turned around, and then he was running up the road a bit more, and then he turned around, and I think he was firing some shots. It's hard to work out how many shots were fired from his rifle and how many shots were coming from elsewhere, but it seemed like there were other people helping him, which is very disturbing. I might just mention here that of all the vilification and demonization by Donald Trump and all his associates in his administration about Antifa, I think, has only been responsible for one, I don't know if it's a death of a person, and of course any death of a person, even if it's one, is terrible, but one person either injured or dead, whereas white supremacist, white nationalist militias like this guy here in the green t-shirt, in the green shirt, have been responsible for, 150 people dead in the last 10 or so years. They are really, the terrorist organization. It's not Antifa, and besides, Antifa is not an organization. It doesn't have a members card. It is a ideology in a way, an anti-fascist. That's what it stands for. Apparently being anti-fascist is a big no-no to some people, including some of the fake liberal left. And just one more point the United States actually in 2014, and since then rejected, they refused to reject Nazism at the UN. So they refused to reject Nazism at the UN in 2014, and they have since then. So that gives you a little idea of who is the problem, what, where, and also when you see them in the past, when they've been with the protesters, they have been not afraid or bothered by armed militias or white supremacists who are, they're looking like the menacing types. They're focused on the left. They're focused on protesters from the left. So that gives you a little idea of whose side they're on in this. And when you see this little thing with the police saying, I'm glad you guys are out here, we appreciate it, or something like that. I mean, what the F? Really, you've got to say, what on earth? And this guy looked like he's like 20 years old or something, running around with open carrying this rifle. I mean, what? How is that even okay? How is that even okay that they're able to do that? With the obvious intent of shooting people if there's any sort of problems with, supposedly, this is their excuse anyway, shooting people who are, going for businesses. I'm talking about leftist protesters, trying to, hurt businesses or whatever. That's their excuse, right? Any excuse to shoot somebody, and particularly the ones that Donald Trump says are destroying America, and talking about them as if they aren't Americans. I mean, this is very dangerous stuff, and this is what happens when you whip up part of your base that thinks that Donald Trump is some sort of thinks he's some sort of liberator of their belief system almost. Do you know what I mean? Emma Lee, before I show you this, Emma Lee said, tonight in Kenosha, multiple people were shot. I'm going to link to posts of a couple of the videos and explain what I've gathered. There was a fairly major confrontation at the gas station that many streamers caught on their live streams. It appeared that some folks from the community were not happy about militia having guns. They were arguing for a while, and most of the streamers left because it didn't seem to be going anywhere. This gas station a while later ends up being the scene of the first shooting. The first shooting can be seen in this video from Reg Iconado on YouTube. Around 35 seconds, you can see a guy in a green shirt run from the victim to the right side of the screen while on the phone. The video captures green shirt guy running. It sounds like he says, I just killed somebody, to whoever is on the phone with him.
Oh, we got a gun, baby. Oh, they shooting. Oh, he shot him. Get back. Shot him, man. He shot him. Shot him, man. He laid him out. He laid him out, you guys. He laid him out. Damn. You gotta get down. Hey, there's a paramedics. Can you call for the paramedics? We already called. And I'm going to refresh my shit. He's calling! He's calling! He's calling! He's calling! He's calling! He's calling the paramedics. He's behind the car. He's calling. Julie! Take him to the hospital! Kathy! Yeah, he's hitting his chest. He's hitting his chest. Shot. Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Oh my God! Yeah, that shit was good.
Morgan Trump donated $3. He found out.
What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? Get the patient privacy. Yeah.
Sean McGraw donated $5. TFWWH and whiny sheriff riots on your street.
Way out.
Holy fuck, dude! I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
I was running that way and they shot somebody else.
Oh, somebody else shot down there?
Yeah, somebody else got shot right down the street.
Yeah, he got shot with one of those rifles, man.
Big ass rifle.
Yeah, up close.
I got pictures of the dude running away.
Yeah. Didn't he hit him like twice?
I don't know, man. I saw it from over here. I was standing over here.
Let me go. And there's a guy laying out here.
Yep,
shot.
Right where those cops are, right there.
Immediately, people began saying the guy in the green shirt was the shooter. There is a screenshot of him in the comments from earlier in the evening during the argument at the gas station. Andrew Mercado began shouting on his live stream as folks started chasing the guy in the green shirt that he was not the shooter because he was a medic. He does appear to have a very small backpack with medic markings on it. This doesn't mean he isn't the shooter. This also doesn't mean he is actually a medic. You can see it here around 3.41 minutes.
Oh shit, he shot that guy in the stomach. Oh shit, people are getting shot all around us. People are just getting shot everywhere, guys. Move. Take this, take this, motherfucker. I got it. Oh, fuck me.
I need a fucking medic! I have a tourniquet on the back.
What you got? You have a tourniquet on the back?
I have a tourniquet.
Where, in your bag?
Fuck!
In your bag?
Help!
Tourniquet now, no.
Tourniquet, take it. It's loaded. Please tell me you know how to use this.
We got it.
That's not how you use it!
Help me, somebody help me, please. Right here, I got you.
You need call?
Punch it. Tight. Make it tight.
Make
it tight. Make it tight. Get tight. Okay. Move.
Come on.
Twist.
Come this way, come on.
It's gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt.
Do it.
It's gonna hurt.
Do it.
Keep it right there. We're coming out to you. We got right in front of Bearcat.
Yeah.
We're coming out to you.
Fuck. Down at the end of the block. There's another victim down up the block. Up the street, there's another person down up on the corner. Hey, there's a loaded handgun in the road right here. You need to take that off the street right now.
In this video from CJTV, you can see the guy in the green shirt run into view and down the street before hearing gunfire from what sounds like 3 different guns in total. CJ then tends to someone with a gunshot wound to the arm, and she saw the photo. It looks bad. Yeah, it does look bad. This video was taken further down the street from CJ, closer to where the guy in the green shirt began shooting people who approached him. You can clearly see multiple people being shot, including the man with the arm wound that CJ tended to. That's the 4th shot. Before the shootings happened, the green shirt guy was captured on video with what appeared to be other militia members accepting water from militarized police. He walked straight up to the Bearcats.
If you can keep people from pointing their guns at the crowd, it'd be great.
Yeah, no laser pointers either. No laser pointers. They think that's guns too. That's what started most of it. Way back by the gas station again.
Hey, thank you guys. You need water? Seriously. Guys to our right, you need water.
We need water.
We'll throw you one.
Thank you. Alright, come on guys, let's get out of here. Damn. Which way should we go?
Great, we'll give you a couple. Thank you. Yes, you. You are a civilian. This area is closed to them. You're trespassing. Leave. Leave now.
Can you throw one up here? Officer, can you throw one?
We got a couple. We got to save a couple, but we'll give you a couple. We appreciate you guys. We really do.
Thank you. Hey, can we go this way? Can we walk this way? Hold on. I need a step.
I'm sure they have a lot of bottles of water.
That's all we can spare.
Nice truck,
You're
guys.
going to have to get out of there. You're in the last warning. You're going to have to move south or you're going to have to get off this block. This is the last warning. You will disperse.
All right.
So now, please, thank you.
Hey, thanks for attention to us, man.
It should be okay. I mean, if I get, if my video ends up having a restricted audience, that's fine. But the reason I wanted to show you this is because I just wanted you to look at the comfort to which this man in the green shirt on his knee is shooting people. It's almost like it's like he thinks he's in some sort of a video game, or he has been, he's sort of rehearsed this in his mind, or he's just so hateful of leftists that it finally bubbles over and that's what happens. But he's very comfortable and he's running down the road like he's a policeman on it, like he's a policeman basically. And the other thing that's noteworthy about this unless I'm mistaken, is how the police are just interacting with these armed militia types at the petrol station, at the gas station, and I'm sure that one of them said, "Thanks for being out here." Then they tell them to move on. And I just think that is so bizarre. I mean, because it's open carrying is fine in many states in the United States, but that would be seen as, over here in Australia, that would be seen as a major incident, and the police would be flocking down there in SWAT gear and sort of swooping them all up, basically. I mean, that's how, it's like another universe seeing this sort of thing, seeing people behaving like this and running around with open carrying weapons at supermarkets and all of this sort of thing. It's totally surreal, and thank goodness it's not happening here in Australia, and I hope it never does. But anyway, just look at the way they say to these guys, "Thanks for being out here." I just find that, I'm sure that this was a policeman through the loudspeaker in the armed vehicle saying that to them. So I hope he eats his words when he finds out what one of those guys did. But I'm sure there are other people in that group were helping him, because there was more than him shooting, I'm sure. Anyway, it's incredibly sad, and that poor man who's probably just out to join in the protests, and probably maybe he got in a verbal altercation with this man with the gun, is now dead, and that is terribly, terribly sad. He was just a young man, and of course those other people were shot were young as well, and this is sort of insane. It really is insane, and it's kind of frightening, and Donald Trump knows that he's whipping these people up. I actually didn't think there was any sort of people that were militia types that lived in Wisconsin. I thought that was more in the South, and I wonder if these people are actually traveling around to these states where there is protests and doing this kind of thing. I wonder if he's actually even from Wisconsin. But anyway, let's have good thoughts for the people of Kenosha and anywhere else in the United States, and may all this terrible white supremacists attacking leftists and all that kind of thing, may that end, because it is dreadful to think you can't be safe just going out and protesting without either the police shooting at you with rubber bullets or worse, or shooting tear gas, or you have this sort of thing happening. And this is sort of a way of sort of throwing cold water over people who might be afraid to come out and protest, because they're afraid of being either shot by the police or shot by these wacko armed militia people. Thank you for watching. My name's Trish Roberts. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notifications bell and think about supporting independent journalists. I'm not a journalist, but I just make commentary every so often about it. But consider supporting independent journalists. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye for now.